Hello, my name is Steve. Welcome to week 7 assignment. My name is Steve. Welcome to week 7 presentation. I'm doing a presentation on how to make spaghetti and meatballs. Spaghetti and meatballs happen to be my favorite meal to make. It's simple, it's easy, and it tastes great. What I like to call a little taste of home. And I like to say I love to cook myself, but when I'm in the kitchen, I am not to be disturbed. I get in the kitchen, I rush around, I do everything I wish, as I wish, and I don't feel like having anybody tell me how to do this, how to do that, or just being around. Just let me go. Just don't say anything until it's over. Then you can either comment, say it's good, say it's bad. Until then, leave me alone. Okay, now to get started on our spaghetti and meatballs, you'll need a few things. First, you'll need a 12-inch frying pan. You need a 3-quart pot with a lid to stop everything from splashing all over. You also want a 6-quart pot to cook our spaghetti in. And of course, we always need a wooden spoon. Wooden spoon is important. You can toss your meatball, turn your meatballs as they're browning. And when you're cooking with anything not a stick, you should use a wooden spoon. Never use a metal spoon. Okay? Now let's go to our ingredients. First things first, I like to start with some fresh ground hamburger. It all depends how many meatballs you want. You usually get about 14 to 15 meatballs out of a pound of hamburger. Okay, make sure you have that. Okay, next you'll need your spaghetti. Any box spaghetti will do. You don't have to be fancy and buy this, buy that. You can either get spaghetti, rigatoni, ziti, raviolis, anything. It's great. Okay? And since we're in the modern age, we need some spaghetti sauce. Now there's a million brands out there. I'm showing you Barilla. I personally use Hunt's, but that's neither here nor there. Tomatoes are very good for you. They're full of lycopene, which is good for your heart. Oh, excuse me. Okay, next, as we got this, we will need some mushroom and onion. Sorry, garlic and onions. Getting ahead of myself there. Okay. Garlic and onions are great. Okay, you will need some peppers. I'm showing red and green, red and yellow, or banana pepper. I like a green sweet pepper myself to add to it. We'll need mushrooms. And this is more than we even think about. Say a can of mushrooms or just in one container will do it. Okay? After we have all our ingredients, we have to chop up the onions and the garlic. This is about what I do. I usually use at least a half an onion and about 5 or 6 cloves of garlic. Okay, you chop them up. Okay, then you go for the peppers and the mushrooms. You chop them up also. Okay? Okay, what you do is you take your hamburger, put it into a mixing bowl, add 1 egg and a 1/4 cup of milk, and thoroughly mix them together. Make sure that gets all over. It's a little messy, might feel funny, a little squishy, but go for it. Okay, you get that, mix that up. In the meantime, you brown. Put a little oil in your frying pan and brown your mushrooms and garlic. It only takes about 5-6 minutes to do that. You take half of that and you put it in with your meat. You put the other half in with your sauce that is on the stove in the pot already. In the pot already on a very low heat, a simmer basically. And you pour your other half of the onions and garlic into your sauce. Okay. Then you mix everything together. Okay, and then finally you add breadcrumbs. I usually use about 6 ounces of breadcrumbs. You can use 8, a whole cup. It doesn't matter. It all depends on how you like the texture. Grab the meat. As you can make a large meatball, small meatball, it doesn't matter. Just grab it and just roll it in your hand and make a ball. Take that, throw it into your frying pan. Turn your heat up a touch to maybe medium low or medium. Throw them in, throw all the meat in there, and as they're cooking, turn them so it's brown on all sides. This is what it will look like. As they're browning, make sure you have them all cooked. Okay? In the meantime, you have your sauce on the stove. Stir it occasionally. And as your meatballs are brown, throw them into your sauce. Be careful because the sauce is very hot and it will burn you very quickly. Once you're done putting all your meatballs into your sauce, cover and keep it on a simmer, very low heat. Next is you get your water, fill up your spaghetti pot about a third of the way, half away, depends how much spaghetti you have. And so about the spaghetti.
You're so close to my house.
That depends how many people you're feeding. Most spaghetti boxes have a little circle there where it says 1, 2, that is how many people. So you measure your spaghetti according to what you wish. Throw the spaghetti into the boiling water. Okay, let that cook about 10 minutes, depending on your taste. The box will say from 9 to 12 minutes. If you like it a little firm, that is about 9 minutes. If you like them soft, that's 12 minutes. Okay, after they're done, the spaghetti is done, your meatballs should be done. This will be about a half hour in the sauce. Take it out, put it on, drain the spaghetti. You put it into a colander, drain it, and then just serve. And this is what it should look like when you're done. And last but not least, Parmesan cheese on top. Okay, thank you very much and have a good day. Goodbye. Okay, why can't I stop? It is a delicious meal. It's easy, and as everybody will tell you in your family, it's worth the trouble. It's what I like to call a little taste of home. Now, to begin with, I am the cook in this house. Of course, I'm alone, but I've always been the cook. My wife didn't cook, my kids, nah. And somebody had to cook for them, and I took over. I did this because this way, if I cook, I get what I like. When I'm I am the cook. When I am in the kitchen, do not come in. It is my kitchen when I am there. I do not appreciate anybody coming in telling me how to cook, to do this or do that, and I'm not doing this right, or suggestions. I don't want any of that. I do not need any taste testers or any other comments from the peanut gallery. If you really know what's good for you, stay out of the kitchen when I'm cooking. Okay, to begin with, we will need our utensils. I personally like a 12-inch non-stick frying pan, a 3-quart saucepan with a lid, a 6-quart pot for my spaghetti, and a wooden spoon, which is a must. If you're using anything non-stick, you need a wooden spoon. Nobody wants to have scratches on their frying pan or in their pots. When you go to make eggs or something else, it will stick to it if you use a metal spoon. Okay, now our ingredients. First thing we need is hamburger. Me, I like a nice lean ground beef, which is healthier than a lot of other things than your regular ground beef. It has less fat content, and it seems to be a little less greasy. And you'll need a box of spaghetti. Anything will do, whatever you like. Spaghetti, rigatoni, ziti, vermicelli. There's a million kinds of pasta, and you can take what you want. Okay, we'll need spaghetti sauce. I used to make it from scratch, but since I'm the only one here now, I'll go for the canned stuff. Canned, bottles, that's another that you can buy whatever you want. There are plenty of choices on the shelf in the supermarket. Okay, tomatoes are very good for you. Tomatoes, tomato sauce, they contain lycopene, which is good for your heart. Okay, you will need one onion, I like a yellow onion, one onion, and one full clove of garlic. You will need peppers, mushrooms. And for spices, I like Italian seasoning. It has your oregano, your basil, your thyme, and your rosemary in there. It's very easy to get. Just go to any store and you will see it in there. Italian seasoning. It's with the spices. Okay, you will need 1 egg and 2 ounces of milk also. To begin with, chop up your onions and your garlic, and in your saucepan throw a little bit, just enough oil in there to cover the bottom. Brown your onions and your garlic. While you are doing this, you can chop up your peppers and your mushrooms. Okay, after that is done, you will put your meat in a mixing bowl. Take half of your bronze, whatever, sauteed onions and garlic, and throw it into the meat. The other half you will put into your sauce, which you have on the stove, heating up on a very low heat. You put the onions and garlic in there and stir them up. The part that you put in your meat, mix everything together with your egg and milk. Mix that together, put your onion and garlic in there, and then throw your peppers and mushrooms. And a little bit of that in there, half of that, what you have chopped up, into your meatballs, and the other half into your sauce. Brown your meatballs all the way. Make sure all sides are covered or brown. This is the purpose of this, is to make sure that they don't fall apart when you put them in your sauce. Okay, there's your sauce. Use the wooden spoon to stir it so you don't scratch anything. There you put your meatball. When the meatballs are brown, you put them into your sauce. Okay. Let them, put your lid back on. Let them cook for at least 20 minutes, usually a half hour. And while this is going on, you fill up your spaghetti pot, bring it up to a boil, and once it is boiling, put in the amount of spaghetti that you wish. Let that cook for somewhere around 10 minutes. Follow the instructions on the box. And the box usually has little circles on there, which will let you know how much spaghetti to use for either 1 person, 2 persons, 3 people, and so forth. And if you have more people than there is numbers on the box, do the math. When the spaghetti is done, take it out, pour it into a strainer, colander, and let it drain. Okay, when that is done, throw it on a plate, put some meatballs and sauce on there, and enjoy. And me, I always like to cover it up with some Parmesan. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have a good evening, and take care.